A Manassas man is under arrest. He bit his dog and an FBI agent while naked and under the influence. Interstate 270 is basically a dumpster fire every day of the week, so why would today be any different?
Senator Corner, Adam Longo at WUSA 9. You were running like you were being chased by Bob Mueller. How'd you do?
Well, I did about my usual, about 10-minute miles.
We're here with Senator Kyrsten Sinema, Democrat from Arizona, and you were running like you were being chased by Mitch McConnell. So how did you feel like you did?
Actually, that would have been a lot slower.
Okay.
But
he would have never caught you.
He would never have caught me.
Run 3 laps around the field and chug a beer after each lap. Is that responsible? I don't know. But this is highly questionable from last year's event. Pause it right there. This guy is running while holding his phone. He's wearing a cape and superhero goggles while wearing a stuffed shark on his head. I'm okay with the beers, but definitely not this. So if you're down with Star Wars, beer drinking, fireworks, and yard jokes, 5:30 Saturday night in Bowie. The New York Times sat down with 21 Democrats who are running for president to ask some hard-hitting questions. They weighed in on important topics like health care and gun control. But one of the questions is just captivating all of the readers, and that's what's trending today. Here was the question. What's your comfort food? Amy Klobuchar said baked potato. Cory Booker said veggies. Kamala Harris said French fries. Kristen Gillibrand went with whiskey. And Marianne Williamson says she doesn't have a comfort food. Of course, people had lots to say about this. One person said, quote, nothing could be less relatable than the phrase, I have no comfort food. All right, so your polling is down and now it's even worse. Congrats to Kristen Gillibrand on being all of us at 19, trying desperately to impress our college boyfriends with this specific personality. Can't believe that maybe she just likes it. And this person said this actually helps me decide who to vote for more than any information I've seen so far. And because of that tweet right there, I can promise you our democracy is doomed. Just arriving on a steamy July morning here to the banks of the Anacostia River. We're at Bladensburg Waterfront Park, and what we're talking about today is the importance of a nickel. Just how far is that nickel going in helping clean up this water? We're going to hop on a boat. We're going to go out with some folks who are helping to clean up this river, go out and test the water quality to see if it's getting any better. 2 huge developments Thursday in the quest to make D.C. the 51st state, and for the first time have taxation with actual representation. So big news part 1. Steny Hoyer, who's the House Majority Leader, second most powerful member right behind the Speaker. Hoyer now says he supports D.C. statehood and is co-sponsoring a bill that would make it happen. He's a major force in driving the House agenda. Big news part 2. D.C. statehood will get a congressional hearing in July. First time that's happened in 25 years. Now, D.C. people I've talked to, their reaction to all this big news? Meh. And rightfully so. They're jaded and unenthusiastic. Why? Well, hop into the D.C. time machine with me for a moment. When Congress began administering the district in 1801, peeps were like, wait a minute, we can't even vote for president. John Adams was on his way out of the White House in 1801, and T. Jefferson was on his way in. They weren't any help for the cause, and D.C. didn't get to vote in the presidential elections for 163 years, until 1964. So if you think 218 years later, D.C. is closer than ever before, well, you haven't met this guy, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He wouldn't allow a vote for a Democratic Supreme Court nominee in 2016. You think Mitch is going to allow a vote to let D.C. unconditionally become a state with 2 probably Democratic senators and a Democratic House member? Psych! James Madison wrote back in the day that D.C. residents would have a voice in elections. Now, considering Madison and our founding fathers had just won a war because they were getting taxed but couldn't vote in the British Parliament, it's obvious that they thought every man everywhere should have an equal vote and equal representation. So statehood or not, isn't it about time D.C. residents have the same representation as people in Wyoming and Vermont, 2 states that have fewer people than D.C., but much more power in Congress?